Hey, well, I'm excited. You all know I love reading, and I got this beautiful book here. It's a new book from a top doctor providing practical daily advice on how to have a better brain and a better life. So joining us today is Dr. Daniel Amen, author of Change Your Brain Every Day. Good to be with you. And what prompted you to write Change Your Brain Every Day?
You know, at the beginning of the pandemic, I wrote down mental hygiene is just as important as washing your hands. And I actually predicted that we would have a mental health pandemic, which is indeed true. And what I learned from looking at the brain over the last 32 years is that most psychiatric problems are not mental health issues, they are brain health issues. Get your brain right, and your mind will follow. But most people have no idea how to love and take care of their brain. And so I wrote Change Your Brain Every Day to give them simple daily practices that they could do every day.
Yeah, these are actual practical exercises you can do. As I was reading through some of the book, I can't wait to finish it. And we don't want to give too much away, but really helpful advice in there. So what are you seeing in our culture and your research that suggests we need to pay more attention to brain health?
We're in a mental health pandemic. New study out just last week, half of teenage girls have persistent sadness. 20% of them, 1 in 5, have seriously considered suicide. This is just not okay. During the pandemic, depression tripled the incidence of deaths from drugs, alcohol, and suicide at the highest level in recorded history. But I think we have the paradigm wrong. Oh, you have these symptoms, take these drugs. And I'm like, no, no, no. You need to first think about the physical functioning of your brain. Feed it right, exercise, simple supplements, directed thinking can just make a radical difference for you.
Yeah, well, Doctor, I've heard the saying, we are what we think, so we do have a choice here, it sounds like. Based on your research on brain imaging, has that changed your practice as a psychiatrist?
It changed everything I do. That I'm not thinking, oh, you're depressed, you're bipolar, here's the meds, see you in a month. I've just come to believe that's the wrong approach. The approach is look at the brain, get it healthy, and then train your mind to look for what's right way more than looking for what's wrong.
That's so interesting. You know, we train ourselves in the gym, we try to work out, do well with other parts of our health, but we do forget about the brain. So it's very interesting here. What does the book recommend focusing on brain health every day? How do we make this a daily practice, part of our lives, like brushing our teeth?
You start every day, just like I did, with today is going to be a great day. You're looking for what's right rather than what's wrong. When you go to make a decision today, just ask yourself, is this good for my brain or bad for it? And if you can answer that with information and love of yourself, love of your family, you start to make better decisions. When you go to bed tonight, go, what went well today? And write it down. I go on a little treasure hunt every night, just looking for what's right. So the brain often just automatically goes to what's negative. I call them ants, automatic negative thoughts. You can train it over time to look for what's right, but you also have to keep it healthy. New study out last week on vitamin D. People who take vitamin D supplements, 40% less risk of getting Alzheimer's disease.
Wow, some good stuff there. So happiness, loving yourself, and I think, Doctor, do you agree, we're wired to be positive people when it comes down to it? We have to remind ourselves of that.
Well, I think we're actually wired for negativity because that saved us when we were on the savannah to like, okay, who's going to eat us next? We have to retrain our mind to look for what's right rather than what's wrong. And coming out of the pandemic, there was so much political divide, societal unrest, fear of the virus. That really took us in a negative direction for mental health, but we can get it back by doing the right things.
Okay, very interesting. I'm learning so much. And where can we get the book and find out more about Amen Clinics?
Well, thank you so much for asking. You can get the book anywhere great books are sold, Barnes & Noble, Amazon. You can find out about my work at Amen, like the last word in a prayer, amenclinics.com.
All right, thank you so much, Doctor. It's been a pleasure. And yes, let's train ourselves, including our brains, the right way. We got this. And of course, for much more on this, head to our website, firstcoastliving.net.